بك من الخبث وخبائث. That's
We're not going into the bathroom, bro.
With you guys, it's kind of dirty around here.
Okay. That was nice, actually. I can give you credit for that one. Chala.
Assalamu alaikum, my name is Sim. Welcome to another episode of the Mad Mamluks. We are joined by a couple co-hosts by the name of Mort and Shaykh Amir.
Assalamu alaikum.
Shaykh Amir, who is the new director.
Amir.
He's a new director, youth director of ICW. Welcome to the team. My ICW is Islamic Center Wheaton. It is the mosque that yours truly visits very regularly and has been a pillar of that community's foundation. Sheikh, how are you going to benefit our community as the new youth director?
Yeah, Jazakallah khair. Thank you for introducing that as the first topic, man. Yeah, Sim, he's the Sayyid of ICW, bro. We can't survive without him, mashallah. So I think ICW has been really working hard on trying to find a youth director for a few years now. And I think it comes from a really good place. You know, our good friend Shaykh Umar Haqqani and Talha reached out to me, and they were really, telling me, hey, man, we just got to do this. This is not a friend thing, you know. It's like, we just have to start doing something for the youth. The youth have nothing for them.
Well, what would make you work for a Muslim organization after your last experience at a previous Muslim mosque that is very notable in the western suburbs of Chicago? Probably the original mosque that was first established in the western suburbs of Chicago. It's very close to Villa Park and Lombard.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. That's one of the main reasons why I didn't jump on for past few months. I'm gonna be honest, but I saw that there was a difference. Like they were very, very clear. Look, you're not applying for this. We're reaching out to you. So the other thing is it's a part-time gig, so I don't mind it. Like I have my full-time job, but one thing I started realizing is when I was working this full-time, I started having a dilemma where I was only focusing just like on my family, which is a good thing, but I started losing touch with like teaching and just being involved in the community. I started getting really sheltered. And I kind of got really comfortable that way. Like, I didn't want to do any Islamic work. I didn't want to do any khutbahs. Why
don't you want to do khutbah? Khutbah is part of the, the thing that every person who's a graduate of university, Islamic universities, is required to do. It's the least bit you could do for the ummah as like a love letter of what you've accomplished so far, and you try to say, hey, you know what? I'm just doing this fi sabilillah. Yeah. What's wrong with that?
No, there's nothing wrong with that.
No, go ahead and
I was telling you is that I just didn't want to.
You want a salary for that?
He was saying he lost the desire.
That's what it was. I lost the drive and desire to do anything
he had
public.
No fire.
I just wanted to do it for my family and my relatives and whatever, my nieces and nephews. But then I started realizing that I was getting too comfortable in that, and I started kind of losing touch with the Muslim community. Like, it happened really fast. It was like a downward spiral, and I started.
I'd say that's a great Nine Inch Nails album as well. Go ahead, Downward Spiral.
Nin. So I started really, really feeling like, you know what? Is there something wrong with me? Because I really felt disconnected, and I started kind of feeling bad about it. So I just thought about it. I was like, hey, man, I can knock out two birds with one stone. I'm going to take my kids to all of the, some of the programs. I recently did a program there. Took my daughter there. My son was sick. I couldn't take him. But because I also had that feeling of guilt. It's a double-edged sword. Yeah. There's two sides to this. Is that I also used to feel guilty, or I didn't want to be those people that do a lot of Islamic work and they leave their family away from that Islamic work.
Yeah.
I never wanted to be caught up in that. And my kids are getting older, so I just I'm going to start bringing them to these things, because I want them to be a part of the masjid, but I don't have to carry that guilt with me that I'm teaching all these other people and their kids, and I'm not teaching my kids. I don't want that to happen, and I want them to be a part of these events for, Islamic social atmosphere. So I finally decided, I was like, you know what, I'll just do it, man, and, I'll just do this my istikhara.
What a good guy.
And no, not really. It's not a good guy. It's for my own thing, it's.
I mean, I would have never done it.
Did you know, I recently found out, true story, no joke. There's a sister who pulled out two of her kids from an event that ICW was organizing because she considers you a toxic male.
Good.
Why do you think she considers you a toxic male?
I don't know. I don't know her. I don't
maybe
know.
because
you do know her. I do.
Oh,
No,
I know
maybe
that.
because she listened to an episode.
It's probably something from the Mad Mamluks. We said something, or
Oh,
possibly, or maybe it was a work experience that a previous job place that I was. I don't know anyone that called me toxic male. And I don't, but I don't think I'm very toxic.
yeah.
Can we be honest about this though?
All right, Morton's gonna pull some gangster mode here. Yeah.
I'm saying if a woman who thinks there's such thing as a toxic male and toxic behavior, you don't belong part of the community anyways. Like stay at home, right? I mean, like I'm saying, if this is how I feel about it. Look, I wish the kid would stay there, but the kind of mentality you're bringing to a community, we want to be far away from that as possible. The reason why we have these communities and youth directors is to guide the men so they don't fall for your trap in the ideology you're bringing. That somehow, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not saying that there's no toxic, quote unquote toxic or bad behavior some men have, right? But that's no different than bad behavior that women would have, right?
Yeah.
The notion that somehow that this idea that if one person may have a particular view, right, Sim, that it's bad now. This idea is just completely ludicrous.
Yeah.
It's like so binary, right? Like either this or that. And that's not how human beings are, right? You're really going to say, oh, like I'm sure I could find certain behaviors of characteristics of some shuyukh and say, hey, they might have some bad quality in some area. But does that mean that I'm just going to totally abandon anything they have to offer? Or a masjid may have a certain bad policy with parking or a bad style of khutbah or whatever it may be. Do I just abandon that because it doesn't align? Or I don't know. It's just
Look, the truth is,
silly thing.
If you consider Sheikh Amr toxic in any way, you are bat bleep crazy. There's no other way to describe you.
Yeah, that's true.
If you have the audacity to label that kind of a horrible term on this guy,
I think nobody's free. Sorry to cut you off, man. I think everybody has their weaknesses. Look, I don't take it personally. I don't take it personally.
You have your weaknesses, Sheikh. Don't worry. You want me to start a list?
Yeah, I can call them out. But
listen.
No, hold on.
Wait,
I didn't mean to
second.
throw dirt in your face, Sheikh. I know you. Look how defensive you get.
One
He starts
second.
cutting me off.
Listen, at another time, I can call out your weaknesses and call you blue-eyed, whatever. But what I'm saying is right now, I generally don't say this in a show, right? I don't like to praise you at all.
Yeah.
But I will say this much. To people listening.
More, just stop.
Amir
Stop.
is one of
Stop.
the nicest,
Oh my
most
God.
humblest people
You
you'll
gotta
meet.
talk to my
He's
missus.
caring and he's loving and he's considerate about people around him all the time.
You gotta talk to my missus then.
No. Listen. That's fine. I don't get involved with the interpersonal relationship with your spouses. I'm saying we're generally out there speaking. Notice I said spouses. But anyways,
thank you.
but listen. No, what I said was that generally speaking, though,
You're about to get me shot.
like
dude.
when we're talking about how Amr interacts with people outside, and by the way, I just had a time to go on a trip with him, and I see how people how he interacts with people, how he minds courtesy, how he doesn't try to inconvenience people. For someone to say that Amr is like toxic is far from that. I mean, there's very few people that I say these things about, and you guys listening know I don't praise many people. I never praise them. I never do.
No, guys. But you know what? Let's just not make this about me right
Yeah.
now. Look, I'm being serious. I personally don't care. Like, I'm just being 100% serious. It's not a fake modesty. Look, I don't care if somebody thinks I'm toxic. I just wish that if their children were to be taken out of the masjid, not because I'm there, right? But to take your kids out of a masjid in a community because of one person, I wish you would have talked to me first. Not because I'm there, because that community is a great community. Like, when I started getting to know the brothers, like, I started realizing how simple they were. They were super simple. They're very, very nice. And like, when you really start getting to know them, they're just like a whole bunch of nice guys that just want good for everybody.
Yeah.
They're not complicated at all. And, I have my own reasons and why I believe that, but I don't care if somebody thinks I'm toxic. I just want to know, like, what did I do that was toxic for you to take your kids out of a masjid now and you're going to like take them somewhere? What if they made friends over there?
Yeah.
And what if they made love the community? Just because you think somebody's toxic, you're going to take your kids out of a masjid now? What are you going to do with that then?
Well, yeah, they allocate appropriate time on Netflix watching R-rated movies and whatever else that is anything but Islamic will be allocated towards that time slot, so that the toxicity of your maledom is not passed on to the next generation.
I feel bad for the kids because they're taken out of a community, if that's what
what's
it was.
really
but
ironic for me though is that I don't think. And again, I'm not in the habit of doing this. Is awkward for me too because I don't praise you that much. I don't like saying good
Bro,
things.
guys,
about you.
no, hold on.
I don't like,
Let's
but he never gives off a vibe that he's not willing to receive some advice. Like, I've never seen that where I'm like, I'm not. That's maybe me where I say I don't care what anybody says. Who cares? I don't give a damn about you. But I've never seen Amr come off and say.
Oh, that's not true, Mort.
Well, I mean, I'm saying maybe you do. Maybe you do. I don't know.
You're
maybe
a good guy.
I'm saying I don't know. Have you seen him say that he's not gonna take advice from somebody or just dismiss somebody?
No, he always does. But
I never. And that's the funny thing. Like, so anyways, point being is that he made a great point about, and I think it's a valid point. Like, was there any consideration for the child, the children in this case?
That's
what was their environment considered? Was the alternative considered? Their personal feelings or their attachment, was that considered? Right? I mean, sometimes I know growing up for us, if we would have just randomly switched to masjid, that kind of would have had an impact. We had our friends there.
It's like moving.
We had a community building.
It's like moving.
It is. It's like getting, and kids are kids, right? They don't really accept new people, right? They only have their own cliques, and and it's sad that you, for personal reasons, you would, kind of you just do that out of spite and say, well, they're toxic, and like this is the kind of behavior that we learn honestly from non-Muslims, from kuffar.
Yeah.
The kuffar had the idea of shunning and splitting and canceling, right? Because they don't have a concept of a community. For us, we have a community, right? We try every way possible to stick together, even to the point where we look over their faults. We make excuses. We give them advice. We try to make it work. Maybe whatever. Maybe you can bring on somebody else maybe it can come at a time where the child can interact with that person. Whatever it may be, but the idea of sticking together, and just to override that. And this is really something new. It's unheard of to say, "Oh, I'm gonna boycott the masjid now."
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's strange.
Anyway, let's move on.
Let's move on.
But wait, another news. Hold on, moving out. I'm surprised to hear this. I don't know if it's true or not, but someone's typing that Shaykh Uthman got stabbed today.
Bro, I don't know if you could believe that.
I don't know. I mean, he got stabbed. He almost got
Man,
stabbed.
you don't know these brothers.
I'm saying, I don't know if it's true, but I think someone is saying. If someone can verify.
Why don't you talk? You're in a WhatsApp group with him. Why don't you
No,
message
but
him?
I'm saying it's on Twitter. I'm not gonna Twitter. Hey, did you get stabbed? Hold on, 1 second. I mean, let me go to his Twitter. Let me just verify. I mean, the guy.
Not Sheikh Uthman Drame. There's other Sheikh Uthman that we follow on YouTube.
Do you know what he said?
I know.
The guy's been dead before you were born. Freaking guy. I think it was Abu Qutb is his name.
Yeah, but what else? Let's move on to something else, because he's going to be verifying for a while.
Who? On his page.
Who was he stabbed by? Let's put
We need everyone to keep Shaykh Uthman in their prayer. Heard the news he was stabbed today. He was in stable condition and out of the hospital. Alhamdulillah. The attacker was targeting him because of his da'wah. The attack was captured on the mobile phone cameras.
Inna lillah.
Wait, who's
Allah
the
preserve him and
Twitter,
his family, man.
Who's the Twitter guy? Who's tweeting this out?
Huh?
Who's tweeting it out?
It's from his own page. His students have taken over the page. It's called Abu_Qutb, meaning father of books. Father of books, yeah.
Q or K?
ABU _ KUTUB.
KUTUB. I just want to put it on for
that's sad.
for the viewers. That's
For the
unbelievable.
viewers. By the way, Jazakallah khair to the guy to lean out and ride. Jazakallah khair for bringing it to attention.
MashaAllah. But hey, man, he's a da'i, bro.
SubhanAllah. I love him, man.
He earned his stripes for his da'wah, man.
He's a great. I'm gonna reach out to him, inshallah, and check on him.
Yeah, man. Wow.
Allah Mustaan. Imagine, you know what's crazy is that in Canada, a couple of days ago, before Salatul Fajr, a murtad decides to wake up early for Fajr in his life and to go and attack the masjid.
Yeah.
And they got him right away. Imagine if he went during Salatul Jummah, they would have really whooped him. But imagine that. A kafir, najis kafir, who became murtad obviously, probably never prayed Fajr in his life, never woke up Fajr, but he wakes up early with the intention of harming somebody. Anyway, this is the picture.
SubhanAllah.
You know what? This is really sad, man. This is a brother who we all know and love and we admire. We've only said good things about him. We watch his videos. Me and Mort sit down and watch his videos, and our duas go out to him and his family.
Yeah.
They must be terrified, and we hope and pray Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives them patience and sabr and brings him a quick recovery.
No, he's a mashallah, he's a person of iman, inshallah.
He's a gem.
So he's a,
Mashallah, tabarakallah.
yeah, man, it's not going to affect him. He just knows he's doing the right thing, and he's going to keep going. He ain't going to stop. Mashallah. The guy's a trained dude. Mashallah.
Yeah. So, guys, in happier news, Madeleine Albright, former Secretary of State under George W. Bush, has passed on. Or was she Bill Clinton's?
Bill Clinton.
Clinton.
I think
right?
and both.
Clinton and
I think under both. I think
Yeah.
she continued under both. Yeah.
So anyway, she's best. She's
Are we
dead.
supposed to be sad?
No, absolutely
Oh,
not, because Madeleine Albright is a special one. She's someone
Quite
who
an introduction.
well, she's special in the sense that she's a monster in every way.
Yeah.
During the administration that she worked for, I imagine that was under Bill Clinton, they had implemented. Verify that for me more.
That was
please.
in the 90s, yeah. That was late 90s when she said
Yeah,
that.
because they had the economic embargo on Iraq in that time,
Or maybe
and
the mid 90s, yeah.
and 500,000 people, young children, died actually during that embargo.
Yeah, the deformity rate of,
Yeah, and
radiation.
this is 1996, so this is Clinton's era. Okay. Albright defended. On May 12, 1996, Albright defended UN sanctions against Iraq on a 60-minute segment in which Leslie Stahl asked her, "We have heard that 500,000 children have died. I mean, that's more children that died than in Hiroshima. And, is that price worth it?" And Albright replied, "We think the price is worth it." So this is the kind of inhumane human being this was, this low life. She's someone who completely disregarded the lives of 500,000 children who died in the economic sanctions placed on Iraq, where Iraq couldn't purchase the necessary medical supplies and treatment for their patients all across their country, and as a result, 500,000 children died.
Yeah.
And this is what she thinks of it, that we think the price is worth it.
Mm.
So pardon me if I see any Muslim eulogizing her, rest in peace, any of that jazz, which I know it's going to happen from the leftist Muslims because that's their crowd. Sorry, you were going to say?
No, I was
Did
just
you
looking
verify?
up.
That's Clinton, right?
Yeah, it was Clinton. I got confused because she was first appointed ambassador to the United Nations,
Yeah.
and then she became Secretary of State. So there's two different positions she held under the Clinton administration.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So she's a grotesque monster, and that's all I want to say about it. There's nothing more deep and insightful to say about her, but that she passed away today, and we hope she gets what she deserves from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's it.
I mean. Yeah, man.
Ibshrinar.
Let's what about the heads up on are you cool if we give a little bit of heads up on what we have prepared for the main course on Saturday?
What main course? Oh yeah, we go ahead, talk about it, Sheikh.
No, go ahead, please.
Tafadhali, Sheikh.
Please.
You're on the screen right now.
Please. No, inshallah, I just found out about this I think yesterday from you, and I was actually really happy. Where Sister Afreen Fatima from India, who's very, very active. So I don't know a lot about her. I still have to do a lot of research about her specifically, but
She's a student
banding
activist.
together, student activists, banding with a few sisters, and really, raising lots of awareness and getting things together for the hijab ban in India and oppression and what's happening in India with the Muslims and in general. But she's been on TRT and she's been on some other channels that reached out to her, and she's representing really hard, mashallah. So inshallah everything works out on Saturday 9 a.m. Central Standard Time, inshallah, right?
Yeah.
Tune in, ladies and gentlemen. That should be really, really good. And that will most likely be with you, me,
It's
and
a
Mo.
morning. Yeah, it's a morning podcast because of the time difference in India.
Yeah.
She, like Sheikh said, she's a student activist related to the Jamaat Islami student wing. I don't know if she specifically is, but the people who got us in touch with her are their team of listeners from India, and they really appreciate you guys all tuning in on that morning and making sure that you throw your support behind the Muslims of India experiencing all kinds of discrimination. Many of us kind of overlook the situation in India because we think that, oh, Muslims are 200 million in India and they can't possibly face any kind of discrimination. But Sister Afreen's going to explain to us that we're completely wrong and that they are discriminating against Muslims in every way, in every which way they can. And it's something that we've been talking about over the past couple of years about all these different policies that the nationalist Hindu party called the Hindutva Party has been implementing over the course of 4 or 5 years now? How long have they been in power? About 5 years.
I think more than 5 years now,
Yeah.
but yeah.
But
But
anyway.
anyways, yeah.
Yeah, so they've... At first, me and Mort we were kind of keeping an open mind on this stuff. Like, maybe it's some kind of fear-mongering. Remember, we were talking to one of our common friends who was trying to explain to us that, hey, you know, when he was a convert from Hinduism, and he kind of was explaining to us, you know, when I was Hindu, no one was talking crap about Muslims. Like, he was trying to explain to us that a lot of the psychological fear that Muslims have from Hindus is in their head, because he used to hang around these circles. And
so I would say that I think, but to be fair, in that conversation we were namely speaking about Kashmir, and it wasn't so much about like the recent events. And to be fair, I would say that he's probably giving his experience based on when he was there. And I think he's been there for, you know, for like 15, 20 years now.
Well,
right?
he wasn't saying that discrimination doesn't exist, but he's saying that there is a lot of kind of
Victimhood?
Victimhood might be a little strong because there is actually victimhood over there. But when Muslims haven't experienced anything, they sometimes build a narrative in their mind where they think that there's discrimination happening when there really isn't. No one even is allowing that consideration to happen in their mind. And
I think maybe that might be there at some level while he was there, as far as communal violence in certain areas. But I think from this point on, I mean, from what we've seen the last 4 or 5 years, it's evident. I mean, from the statements that, because look, if it was just a fringe group on the side that didn't really have too much political power or whatever, I would understand. Yes, you know what? It's just a okay.
Yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to distract you.
Yeah.
I was just trying to remind Shaykh.
No problem.
Sorry.
No,
about
but what
that.
I'm saying is that, like, you know, that essentially that I could say, okay, you know what? Yeah, it's not really that bad. But when we see statements of a party that actually calls, as in power right now, and it had its representatives call for the murder, the rape, the occupying, the killing, the lynching of Muslims, and they get a slap on the wrist, and then we're actually seeing communal increase in communal violence, right? We're seeing a hijab bans. We're seeing Muslim men disappear in the streets, right? Things like this. This is not, you know, it's
very
not,
underreported,
okay.
yeah. And
Right.
I think we're
It's
going to find that on
underreported
Saturday,
for that matter, right?
It's very underreported.
And we see, and for example, there was a movie that came out, the Kashmir Files, and it's meant to It's like totally inflammatory. It's like almost like hate rhetoric, you know, against Muslims in Kashmir.
What, is that Netflix?
They launched it in their theaters, and they're actually launching it in theaters around here. They had it in Canada, but the Canadian brothers are trying to protest another guy's hate speech. But basically, there's a clip of this after one of the guys watched it. He's like, he gets in the middle of this, you know, the cinema, and he says, if we just, you know, marry these Muslim girls, we will decrease the population of Islam by half in like 5 years or something like that. So 10 years, something like that. And he was like really like fired up about trying to subdue Muslims, right? Because the narrative is that Islam is growing too rapidly. They keep having kids. They're like, you know, the same type of rhetoric that, you know, the Europeans are doing with the Muslims as far as immigration and birth rates. You know, the same fascist attitude that Hitler had with the Jews, like the Jewish problem, right? And the Semitic problem. They're like rats in Europe, and the same thing they're doing. They're just doing like they're doing to Muslims in Europe now. The same repetitive business. India just learned from its European masters. This is how you deal with people. You make this in rhetoric, and now they're calling them rats and burden on society, poor people. They try to say this thing that Muslims are overwhelmingly poor. They're a burden on the system. They're criminals. They're thieves. They just want to force Islam on us. Like, I mean, the whole idea. And this is being embraced by, it was sure, and maybe not everybody believes in it, but the problem with this is that majority of people in that place right now, a lot of them are just complacent, they're silent. And to me, that's as good as being part of it. There are a few good people that are out there that are actually standing up and calling us out, and bless them. But the problem is not enough people are doing it.
Yeah. I think a lot of people also they always ask the question, we're all the way here, what can we do, right? And I think this is a really, really awesome opportunity, right, to listen to the sister, see what she has to say, and engage and talk, and because someone who's there, who's boots on the ground, is going to let us know what needs to be done, right? A lot of people that just give up and they're like, oh, what are we going to do? We're this far away. What can we do? We can just do dua. Yeah, you can do dua, but you can do other things too, right? So I think that's and I think that's why it was really important to bring this up, because we want a lot of people to show support, and we want her to definitely feel welcome too. You know what I'm saying? Because they're doing a lot of brave things, and people are always after them. The other thing is that someone who lived in India and who sees, even when I was there, it's very, very uncomfortable for somebody who believes in the kalima to live in a state of being completely in like almost like a servitude state to somebody, and that's how I saw Muslims. They just kind of got acclimated to that. Yeah, when I was there weren't as many hate crimes or anything like that, but just to be in that state is a very, very sad state. You know what I'm saying? To be completely subdued and not too much respect given to, and it was inevitable that something like this was going to happen. That's why I'm saying this. It was inevitable that if you don't have any power, you don't have any strength, something like this is going to happen. The beautiful thing about this is there's many other people doing this, but this band of sisters that got together, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, they're making their Jannah, you know what I'm saying? And these type of people have to be revered, and they have to be, we got to pay attention to them and show support, man, Yeah. So I think it'll be a great thing, inshallah, man. 9 a.m. Central Standard Time, inshallah.
Yeah, make sure you guys tune in and show the sisters some love, because unfortunately this is not something that gets a lot of attention.
Yeah.
All right, we talk about Syria, Yemen, Iraq, Palestine, Kashmir, but this is also a plight, right? These sisters, they don't have much support, and the more attention you bring to it, the more pressure you bring on the Indians, because they hate to be called out by their white European masters, right?
Yeah.
Like, they hate to be called out as undemocratic, uncivilized, right? Oh my God!
At least the general masses.
For them, if the white man says they're uncivilized, it's the end of the world. Like, the Bhagwan came down and told them that they're pieces of crap, right? So they want to fix their image in front of the white man, right? So if you get enough media attention, the white man becomes outraged, according to them, right?
Yeah.
When I say white, I'm talking about Western power. That's how they view it, right? I don't really care, but they view the West as white, and they seek white approval and so forth and so on. Colonization impact, and so show the sisters some love. Tune in. If you can't tune in, make sure you watch it later, or at least share it, like it, whatever, tomorrow. On Saturday, inshallah.
And before we move on to this, the next portion, just everybody is living, like, especially in the West, right? We live this comfortable life, alhamdulillah, right? And we have some type of ache within us of what's happening to Muslims all over the world, right? And there's this weird conundrum that occurs with us, is that I'm being very, very comfortable, but then my brothers and sisters overseas are feeling like this and are going through this, and we're in this constant state of going back and forth within ourselves. You know what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure all you guys felt that. It's like sometimes you're like sitting with your kids, having a good time, eating great meals, and you just feel really, really bad. So we're constantly in this state. So number one, if you do feel that, just embrace it, because that's one of the ways that that you still have love in your heart for other Muslims. The second is that all these things are always going to happen. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the Quran tells us, yuriduna an yutfi'u nurullahi bi afwahihim, right? They're always going to try to extinguish or eliminate the nur of Allah with their mouths, right? With their tongues, with what they say. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is a completer of the nur, right? He's
Yeah.
going to do whatever he wants to do. And what we have to ask ourselves is, how are we passing this test, right? And how are we keeping our faith in Allah? I mean, when I say faith, I mean the Muslim paradigm of faith, right? Our trust in Allah and our tawakkul in Allah, and not giving up hope, right?
Yeah.
Because sometimes you see all this and you're like, man, forget all this. I'm just, because I went through that on a very, very small level. That's why I mentioned that, right? I think it's very important that we're open about those things. Like, yeah, when you get burned by the Muslim community, someone that you work really, really hard for, you kind of just almost want to disassociate yourself, but you can't let that happen.
Yeah.
Because it's not them. It's about Allah.
Yeah, exactly.
We can't take that away. It's
that's
it's Allah. It's not them.
That's what the Anbiya faced.
Yeah, exactly. And you can't take that away. You can't make them the sole purpose, meaning the community. The community is just a means, obviously, that Allah ordered us to take care of.
And
but
Allah,
at the end, it's about Allah.
and Allah tells us that that's going to happen.
Yeah.
So if you're still getting upset, then it's your ego that's getting
You're
upset.
right.
Then
I
it's
agree.
you.
I agree.
Then that's the problem, that you have to realize, like, whether you don't get the likes that you want in your Islamic post or your YouTube channel for whatever it is, if you think that is your measure of success, then it's about your ego and your intellect, and you're measuring your creativity. You might be using Islam as a vehicle, but it's all ultimately about your ego, because at the end of the day, what matters most to you is how much likes and how much upvotes you get, or whatever, characteristic or whatever thing that you're measuring yourself against. Because here's what some of these people say, like, oh, well, Sim, it's very nice of you to say that, but we as human beings, we're built on the agreeability of our people or our friends and peers around us. We're going to cater our messages naturally so that we're going to say what they want to hear. That's completely the opposite of what the Prophet said. The Prophets, the Sahaba, anyone who has been in dawah has experienced completely the opposite.
Yeah, they were looked at as disruptors.
Yeah.
And they were, for a good reason.
Especially in their own families.
Yeah, you're right. They're the first people to.
Yeah.
The first people to, right?
Yeah, so these people who sometimes you see them with like tens of thousands of likes and hundreds of thousands of subscribers, you'll see them all over Twitter. These type of people are everywhere. Yeah, you'll see some of them are incredibly beautiful, but they'll like use their Islamic message for their thoughts on Islam while not covering and trying to show their beauty off to the world. And they'll say, hey, look, I also have these thoughts about Islam that you should know, Shaykh Hammer. You should know about my thoughts.
Oh, I'm pretty sure they don't care.
While you check out my highlights. While you check out my highlights and comment on them.
I'm probably too toxic for them anyway, so they don't care about Shaykh Hammer.
Sheikh, they care about you. they care about you.
You care about me. Anyways, so what do we have here? What do we have here?
This is a post that kind of got underneath my skin a couple days ago,
like
and
posts.
It just annoyed me, Sheikh. I want you to console me.
Yeah, I'm wondering why it was such a because.
No, I like when he gets mad, bro. Because
here's the thing.
Not mad,
Here's the thing.
No, what I'm thinking, I'm just wondering if the person was. I mean, before you get into it,
yeah.
Is this person actually known somewhere?
I
mean, I did respond to the tweet because it was
it's-
posted in the group. I just thought, I'll respond to something about it. But, I mean, is it a known person or just somehow you randomly came across this tweet?
I just randomly came across it.
I feel like we're gonna give someone attention that we should maybe.
No, I should. Maybe I'll block
not
out
to
her.
give her no more attention.
Yeah, maybe I'll just do that.
Yeah, because I don't think. I mean, I don't want to blow somebody up on our platform and she's a nobody.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like.
Yeah. Let me just remove this thing and the crop. Because as you get older, you kind of learn that it's not necessarily the person, it's the message you wanna.
Yeah.
Right.
You wanna take down.
I don't
the
need
message.
to blast her. It's just the thought I want to take down.
Thank you, Mort. You almost.
I'm not like Amr, so you know.
Yeah, he's
very considered human being, Mortis.
Yeah.
Unlike
Sheikh,
Amr, yeah.
toxic Sheikh.
Yeah.
Toxic Shaykh.
The toxic Sheikh.
Toxic Shaykh.
Remember the Toxic Avenger when we were young? He was a guy who was like kind of mutated. He would try to clean up toxicity from
Oh, Captain Planet?
No, not Captain Planet. This is that Toxic Avenger. He was ugly.
Yeah,
he
he
had
was
like a
ugly. He
drooping
was like-
eyeball, kind of like the Dajjal.
He's
Yeah.
like the opposite of all about. Yeah, anyways.
Yeah, a bunch of people who are listening to this show right now are like, yeah, Sheikh Hammer, how do you not know this?
I don't know.
We grew up in...
It's okay.
Bro,
he hasn't experienced.
All
he,
I've been hearing about is Bigfoot because all
he
my son
didn't
talks about
immigrate
now
to
is
this
Bigfoot.
country at that time.
And I
so-
told him that you're like obsessed with Bigfoot and you're doing all this research. He's like, oh, but when are you gonna take me to Ahmad Danish's house? I mean, Sim's house. So we can...
This was this was
when
pre.
when are we gonna take me to his house? I really want to talk to him about Bigfoot. I really believe Bigfoot exists. I was like, hey man, you gotta
Who
talk to
wanted
him.
you to take you there?
My son, bro.
Oh,
My son's like doing all his research about Bigfoot. Anytime he gets opportunity in school, I think, and like, you know, he does research on it. He's like, I really want to talk to him. I want to know about this and all this
Yeah.
crazy stuff. So that's I don't have time to think about anything else now.
yeah.
I'm thinking about Bigfoot now
Yeah.
for my son, but I haven't done any research
You,
about
you
it.
get that out of your system now.
Yeah, it's
Okay,
done.
good. Go ahead.
It's done.
Uh,
Who cares about the droopy eye
Kill.
guy? Captain Toxicity.
oh, shoot.
Wait.
Let me... 1 second here. Okay. Okay, there we go.
Wow.
All right.
Nice.
So this is a Twitter post that is from a Turk, a Turkish sister, who is really upset that Ertugrul was really popularized or very popular in Pakistan, and so she's upset that Pakistanis are taking so much pride in the Ottoman culture, and so she says some Pakistanis get offended on behalf of Turks. They also think Ottoman history is Pakistani history. I'm having secondhand embarrassment for them. So these are a certain type of Turks that exist, and they're not a minority. They are a pretty sizable chunk of Turkey who have this asabiya, that it's pure nationalist hatred for their Ottoman history, the unification of the Muslims, the role of the Turkish Ottoman Empire in the world, and how it had a leadership position over Muslims. So it's something that really annoys me because it starts creating fitna. Like if I didn't know any better, I would say F Turks. When we were young, and if I had seen something like that, I'm like, man, why do I like Turks? What, because of that one show? Look at this Turkish girl. She's trashing on Pakistanis and Indians and all these other ethnicities that aren't Turk, you know?
So can you give me a little bit of background though? What is with Pakistanis embracing Turks?
Hold on.
No, because but Ertugrul is super popular in Pakistan
It
now.
is, yeah.
So a lot of the brothers in Pakistan are super disappointed when they see that the Turkish actors not behaving in the way that Islamic decor or decorum would like to be, you know?
Yeah.
Sorry,
So I mean, I think okay, she's a Turk. She can feel how she wants to feel about Ottoman history, but I think it's a little bit disingenuous because the Ottoman history is not limited only to Turkey. The Ottomans set their foot in the Arab lands, and in the South Asian lands, and they involved themselves and made themselves part of our history.
By the way, this is a Turkish Ottoman history professor too.
Yeah.
This
So
woman
is she a professor? I think she's a
historian. Something like that.
She's a pastor. Yeah, but anyway, the point being is that, and the irony behind it is that, first of all, there was no Pakistan during the Ottoman Empire, right? That didn't come. I mean, the Ottoman Empire fell by 1924. It was done. Yeah. Right. So there was only India, right? We all agree on this.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah. There was India.
Yeah, there was India.
Right. Only India. There was no Pakistan. So, big mistake number one, blunder. Now that brings us to a different problem. Many of the Pakistanis that have an empathy towards the Ottoman Empire, let's put aside the ones that are just happy about Ertugrul, right? Mm-hmm. Generally speaking, before this woman was even around, people had an affinity for the Ottomans because they saw themselves as Muslims. And maybe she's ignorant of this, but the Sultan Abdul Hamid was wanting to join the Khilafat movement that came out of India. And Mir Uthman Ali Khan was a big supporter of this. He realized at a mistake later on point in life that the British have no care for the Muslims. And they're eventually going to destroy them as they did to his kingdom, right? They abandoned him. And there were such friends, so much so to the point that, number one, his son, Azam Shah, he married Durul Sarwar, I think her name was, Sultan Abdul Hamid's only daughter, right? And then his niece, Nilafur, was married to Mukarram Shah. Right, so imagine the closeness of the Ottoman
Where are they
Empire.
from? That was the Indian. That was Nizam's.
They're
right?
from Hyderabad.
Yeah, the Hyderabad.
Yeah.
So not only that, and then another of his niece married another. And here's the crazy part: when Sultan Abdul Hamid lost his ability to rule and was in exile, and they're trying to bring the Khilafat movement back, guess who was giving him money? Usmani Khan was giving him 300 British pounds a month. That's at that time.
Wow, subhanAllah.
What would that be equal to? Something like almost like $5,000-6,000 a month in today's time, right? So when you talk about the relationship between the subcontinent Muslims and the Ottomans, there's a close relationship because not only do they financially aid them, economically, even spiritually, and even politically they aided them.
Yeah.
Right? There was an intertwining. The Sultan would come and we would symbolically, out of respect, give them bay'ah and allow them to, parade themselves in, right? Because out of the respect, the Nizam didn't have to do that. But in the symbolism of unity and brotherhood and the hope of revival of the Khilafah, and there's a lot that can be said about the Ottomans and how they destroyed the Khilafah, right?
Yeah.
A lot can be said about that,
Yeah.
but they ignored that. Right, so if you really want to make it about, the Ottoman history is actually Muslim history.
It is.
Yeah.
Right?
Building of the haram.
Turkish history is come out of Turk. That's Turkish history. Right?
Yeah.
Like that's that's literally Turkish history. But Ottoman history would not be an Ottoman Khilafah without Islam.
Oh, you're right. Uthmani.
Right.
So, but even the additions that they made in the construction and the help that Turks and the Nizam did for Saudi.
And we're not downplaying at the effort that the early Turkic people who came in and they settled in Anatolia, and of course they deserve their credit, of course.
Yeah.
But again, all of this, where do they come from? They came from certain areas, right? They came from Bilad al-Sham, when there were refugees over there. And then part of their distant relatives were all the Mamluks in India. Before even the Turkish state was created, there was already a Turkic dynasty in India.
SubhanAllah.
Right? So maybe she doesn't know this history between the two, and that's why today you find a lot of cultural impact. The way they give salam, the way they have the diwan, the majlis, these kinds of things. Because let's be honest here, the Turkic people that came into Anatolia, they didn't borrow Anatolian culture. They literally brought in Central Asian culture. They brought in Persian culture. They were so enamored by Persian culture, they literally brought this in. The language, the script, all of it. Ottoman Turkic has nothing to do with today's Turkey, like Turkish. Completely different. Right? It's not the same language. And so I remind them that, hey, and I'm not saying that they can't do anything themselves, but this was a collective effort by many Muslims and across the spectrum. So yes, I would say it is a part of a collective, not just Pakistani or Indian, it's African, it's Arab. Anyone who claims to be a Muslim, this was an effort, little or small, however they put that in there. It was a concentrated effort to have a central leadership under a powerful body. And that was it.
But that's how magical and how almost like the word sihr is like for actors, right? Like people fall in love with and I mean, it's so human, it's so psychological. There's so many elements to that, but so many people get disheartened, like you were saying, by when they see what the actors are really like. They can't reconcile with themselves that we saw this actor that was like this, and in real life, because we actually are living in this, this huge media bubble everywhere. That when somebody's somewhere on screen, we think that's who they actually are. Yeah. Right? And that, I mean, it's just the way it is. It's almost natural for that to happen to a lot of people. But I remember when I heard people find out about, like the earthreal actors, and they saw what they were real like, bro. They were like, some of them were like in depression, bro. They were like, no way, I did all this the bathing, Allah Bay, and doing all this kind of stuff, and what should I do? I was like, just keep doing it, bro. It's a culture. Bro.
I do think some people went too far with the whole the hat and the kai stuff. Bro.
I don't think that. I think that's fine. I think that's fine. I think there's a limit to how much we can shame people in the fun that they have. We already say that no to Halloween, no to all these other things that they can have. Let them have their fun. If they think that's fun with the earth roll, let them have fun with it. Why are you becoming a party pooper all of a sudden? You're one of the funnest guys I like to hang out with, and all of a sudden you're bad mouthing people.
To the point where you're wearing this hat in the masjid and you're walking around.
Bro, he's just stating his personal opinion.
Bro, let him have fun. Let him have fun, bro.
He's not saying don't have fun.
It's not like they're wearing makeup.
Have fun in your house, bro. I'm saying, why do you think everywhere you go, like you're not?
Let them wear. They like it. That's their style, bro. That's their style, Mort. That's their style, Mort.
Half that story was also, the story is BS. A lot of it's not true, right? So first of all, so what I'm saying is that
it's like 40% of it's not true, right? 50.
Maybe more, bro.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if all of it was BS, bro. It doesn't matter. They're having fun in a halal way.
I just want to hear what he has to say. Can I hear what he has to say?
I think all I'm saying is that the bottom line is that it went too far for me. Like everywhere you go, everyone's buying these vests, these bracelets, these rings, these things. Oh my God, bro, relax. It's a show, bro.
Yeah.
Do they have the same?
He's just stating subjectiveness.
No, and I think
it's okay.
but
you can
hold on.
Celebrate it. It's okay.
Wait. There's the same thing with people. Also, when they try to become more religious, they become more Arabized, right? They start dressing a certain way. It happens, right? It's not just limited to them, right? Yeah. It happened all over. But I'm saying there's a certain limit sometimes, and maybe they might be guilty of that. It's not a bad thing, but hey, okay, maybe a lot of people saw it, right? Okay, fine, but it's not something to attack them for. That's my point, right? For me personally, to my liking, it might have been going a little too far. Like, everywhere you go, there was people selling Kai flags and doing this and putting their house.
But Mort, you have to understand.
And I get it, but what I'm saying is that, hold on. But what I'm saying is that's not a reason to attack them, right? It's not a reason, because put it to you this way. When you tweet out about Islam or something like that, or about the history, that would be like an Arab saying, well, it's funny when people say the history of Islam has something to do with Indonesians or a Turkish person,
That's
right?
actually good.
The Arabs did it. You guys didn't do any conquest. The Arabs did it. Then later on, you guys came, right? It would be like someone saying that to them.
It's an ignorant statement.
Yeah, it's an ignorant statement, and the reality is that these Islamic conquests and the Futuhat, they were by the permission of Allah Subhanahu wa Taala.
Yeah.
None of that would have been possible if Islam wasn't their basis.
You're right.
That's what I think the main point should have been.
You're right.
Yeah, Shaykh. Anyway, look, I think if people want to have fun,
don't be sad. He's not saying don't have fun. He's stating his own subjective opinion,
I understand
bro.
it, and I just disagree with it. I just say
Good.
like, hey,
if
people want to have fun,
yeah,
in a halal way, they're within their own Islamic identity.
Muzzies just want to have fun.
If someone wants to wear, those super big turbans that the sultans used to wear, that look like an onion sitting on their head, let them wear that.
Wait, now you're making fun of somebody else. The same thing he was doing first.
No,
I'm not making fun of
onion.
I actually
looked dope, dude.
I wasn't even making fun of
Okay, dough ball. I don't know what.
Dough ball. He made it even worse.
Okay, a big mozzarella cheese ball. Okay, that's what it looks like.
What is happening?
No, but
an MC Hammer pants?
It doesn't matter to me. I think it's, as long as you're having fun within the Islamic culture and the paradigm, you're abiding by the dress code, and I don't care if you want to wear that colorful stuff.
So
that's
one thing I observed, I know Mort already knows this, but one thing you have to understand, Mort, and I know you know this, is that a majority of people that are entertained by shows or whatever it is, that's what keeps them happy. That's what makes them like very, very attached to things, right?
Hey, bro, do your thing.
I know that. But
I'm just saying, for me, it's too much, bro.
Bro, you're a conformist. That's why, Mort. That's why you're a conformist. You just want to wear your hoodie. You want to wear your little sneakers, your little Jordans.
I can't tell if he's serious or joking.
Yeah, I don't know.
No, he's joking. I think.
I'm saying,
or he's half joking.
I'm saying, listen. I'm not saying it's haram. We shouldn't do anything. All I'm saying is that for me,
it makes you cringe.
No, it doesn't make me cringe. I'm saying I just noticed it being too much. Like, it was fine. You want to wear it one time. You want to put on your thing. Fine, cool. But like walking around the mat, I've seen people like Juma Salah. Like, what's the last
It seems like a costume to you.
He's putting it on. Like he's coming. Like, what are you doing, Juma
To me, it's pride in Islam, and that's all that matters, man. I would rather have them do that.
It just felt like weird. Like, are you trying?
Bro, they want to express themselves. Sometimes they're not feeling religious. They want to feel that they want to express their happiness, their closeness to the audience.
Such a fuck. He's still laughing. Why are you holding your laugh? Laugh if you want to laugh, bro.
I'm not laughing, bro.
You held it in pretty hard.
There's nothing wrong with it.
saying for me,
I've seen plenty of uncles wear it, and I thought it was adorable, and it was cute, and it's many of
Be
our.
honest, Tim, do you want one of those hats?
Would
He
I?
has one. He
do
bought
you
one for
want
Misna.
No, I never.
Oh,
bought, I,
No,
never,
that's
I have a
why.
picture.
I never bought one.
No, you're about
Oh.
to. No, you bought
No,
the
I
sculpt.
didn't
Yeah,
even-
no, you got that
Bro.
from that shop.
Oh,
No,
I understand that.
I got
Let's
that.
drop it. Let's
I
drop
got
it.
that sculpture right there. Bring
From
it.
Isna, right?
Okay,
Yeah,
I'm gonna
Yeah.
drop it.
They were the same place that were selling the hats. Hey, can you grab that, please?
Morty, you little two-timing slime ball. I don't have a hat like that, dude. If I had, no, here's what I have. I have the Ertugrul ring. Here's what I have. I have this ring. Okay, I'm not shy. Look, I'm not. If
No,
I had
I'm
that,
saying-
This
if
is
I
the
had the
armor.
hat, I would say I had the
Look, I
hat.
don't even mind that, bro. I'm just saying, like,
Sheikh,
when
look.
you were listen, when
Look.
it's overwhelming like that, and you just suddenly adopt it because of a TV show, I just feel like for me it's a little too much, right? It's like a fanboy type
This
thing.
is Sultan Ayyubi's.
Was pretty
Saladin
dope.
Ayyubi.
It's the armor, yes.
Yeah, that's
Like
his
it
armor.
would be like this, like if
More,
like,
it's okay if you don't like Islamic
wait, I'll be
culture,
honest.
okay?
Like, hold on. It'll be like this, Amr. Remember the Umar Khattab
Muslim
series,
culture,
the
yeah.
great series, right?
Yeah.
Imagine everyone started wearing a turban and hanging the shawl the way it was. Do you know what I mean? Like, it would be like, oh, it's too much, bro. Come on, you just picked it up, right? No one dressed like that today, right? It's just like a little too much, right? But hey, if you like it, wear it once in a while, fine. But to come to like Salatul Jummah, like every Jummah, I see this guy wearing it every Jummah, like it's some kind of like kufi for him. And, a little too much, bro. A
Yeah,
little too
that's,
much.
that's just a
Okay.
feeling it gives you.
Yeah,
That's
I
fine.
get it.
Yeah.
And,
like
you
I
know,
said, you're a party pooper, but we'll move
He's
on.
not a party
It's
pooper.
okay. It's okay.
Okay,
He does-
okay.
We,
Just
we,
don't
I
talk
mean,
about-
what about them? Would you want to wear them leather vest and everything too? Like, you want them to do
I
that
think
too?
that was perfectly fine.
What-
if
what about, like,
if they're
having-
having fun with it, let's just have.
What about growing their hair in the
if
braids? And
they
then,
can do whatever they want.
We're walking with bombs up. You know, his little axe walking around. That's fine
Do it
too.
as long as you're not
Sounds like
harming
Halloween
anyone.
to me, bro.
As long as you're not harming someone, as long as you're not, bringing on or imitating the kuffar like some of the religious folks want to make sure the ummah is not doing, that's fine.
Yeah.
I think
I get it.
I think at some point you got to draw a line and say, hey, you know what? As long as you're doing something halal, you're having
Yeah,
fun
I'm not
with it, your
against it.
family.
I'm just saying, I just know
Sometimes-
that.
He's not against it. He was making fun
I
of
didn't have
it.
it happened too much. Like they especially in Pakistan, like they brought like them to interview them in Pakistan. And everyone like were all like they're going crazy over this guy. Like he was an actual real sultan.
It doesn't
right? Like,
matter, bro.
It was just too much, bro.
It's expressing. Look, it's better than them having in the 80s and 90s when we were growing up. You know what they're happy about? Arnold Schwarzenegger, Sylvester Stallone,
Michael Jackson.
bro. Michael Jackson.
I never wore a
Bro,
Terminator outfit.
I
just talking about general
I
masses.
welcome them embracing these, even though they're fictional heroes with very
I
shred,
don't mind the
a
fictional,
small.
but I'm saying they went overboard. Like with guys
just talking about the garb
cheating,
element.
he comes in,
It doesn't
No,
matter.
not even the
I'm saying
garb.
just get
even
past
the
that for a
attitude.
second, bro. They're bonding with those characters. They're learning Islam. They're finding. You didn't even watch the whole show, bro.
I think the biggest thing, the best thing that came out of that was that people got this revivalist understanding, which they didn't get from khatibs, they didn't get from shuyukh. They had this revivalist thing occur because of this, because of the arts, basically, right? And because of the show, and they really felt this link to like Muslim history. I think that was really
Yeah,
cool.
I get that. What I'm saying,
No, I know you
the
get
show
that.
is good. I have no problem
I
with
know.
reviving the spirit, but like the point was, I just felt real extra. Like bringing the actor, you know, the actor.
Bro,
the Khabib, like, he
it
doesn't do
happens
anything,
in the
right?
West, and
we
we
don't
don't.
hate the actor of the what?
He's the Khabib. I mean, the guy.
Bro, come
Hold
on.
on 1 second. The guy. You don't know anything about that guy. The guy's a freaking model actor. All these stupid shows. He's the Khabib, bro. He's the total Khabib.
He might be, bro.
Yeah,
Look,
but I'm saying, why
the
bring
same
him?
stuff happens in
Because he
America,
made
bro.
Ertugrul?
The same
Like,
stuff
well,
happens in
no,
America.
but I'm
when
saying, what
you know what?
benefit-
When Game of Thrones came out, how many people were wearing wolves
but we're not like
and
Catholics,
they
bro.
were
I'm
wearing
saying I'm not a
T-shirts and
Catholic.
they were
I don't
wearing all
need to
this
idolize
stuff.
somebody.
No
You
one
guys
says
are speaking
anything.
over each other,
No
okay?
one says anything about when the non-Muslims wear their favorite movie shirts and T-shirts and memorabilia.
No, what I'm
no one.
saying
All of a
is
sudden,
this.
when Muslims do something, oh
No,
my
hold
God, look at it. He's made
Hold
it.
on.
Guys,
Hold
Come on,
guys.
dude. Let me have some fun.
Wait, do Muslims invite like some Arnold Schwarzenegger to give a talk
Alright,
about
more-
the Terminator?
More hate.
Nonsense, bro. It's complete nonsense.
Okay,
like
look,
just
guys.
because the show came out, I appreciate the show, right? But to bring a secular Khabith loser and then parade around Pakistan like he's some kind of hero for the ummah,
But the
screw
people- look,
that, bro.
look,
I don't
more-
have nothing to do with that
No,
douchebag.
I know you personally, yes, because look, but most people, that's what their lives did. That's the world, bro. The whole
Is that a
everybody.
problem though?
No, I think. Look, I think the whole world is very entertainment media based, and when an actor captivates their heart, They'll do anything. It's like
I'm saying,
falling in love
bro,
with
I don't mind the
anything.
media. Separate the actor. The actor is he's nothing to do
Dude,
with Islam,
everyone can't do that, unfortunately, bro.
Yeah, I'm just
You
saying.
know what I'm saying?
That's what I feel. They went
But
overboard.
I have a great idea, guys.
You know what's so funny though? Under that girl's initial tweet, there's all these like Muslim men simps. Like, yeah, you know what? If you go to Pakistan, all the guys will be staring at you. Yeah, and go anywhere in the world, and pretty much guys are staring at girls.
Yeah.
Especially in the poverty class, because they're sitting on the streets, they have nothing to do.
People
but
watching.
Look at women, people watching.
Yeah.
So that's all they're gonna do. It's not necessarily something like there's these brown simps, bro, who are just like.
Oh, I did
like,
see that in the thread. Like, oh yeah, it's good. I'm not gonna go to Pakistan. Look, no one wants you there anyway. Like, I mean, like, who made you like God's green treasure? I mean, earth, the treasure on earth. I mean, no one cares. I mean, look. Anywhere you go in the world, right? You can walk into any place and be like, hey, if you're a woman and you're dressed like skimpy, you don't probably wear hijab or whatever, you're probably gonna look. It's
Yeah,
not
even if you
unique
do
to
wear hijab.
Pakistan. It's not unique to Somalia or Yemen or any place or America. It's not used to anything. It's anywhere you go.
Yeah.
And so what? Now, because a man looks at you, what would you rather have him do? Look at other men?
No, they look at everyone, dude.
Yeah, but I'm saying-
whether
no,
you're a
but I
man
mean-
or a woman, they look at everyone. Those,
No, but I'm
they're-
saying,
they're
look,
just
we all
poor.
know that in Islam that you have to control your. But there's still, is there something shameful about being attracted to a woman? Is that a shameful thing now?
No, but it does make women uncomfortable, right? When
Look,
when
man,
men are staring at them like that.
Listen, staring is one thing. I think you've got a proportion, but they equate just looking at someone as staring, right? Like they have this term like stare rape and look, whatever, dude.
I rape.
No,
Is
it's
that
called
what-
stare rape.
Oh, stare rape?
Yeah. But anyway, the idea here is this though. Okay, that happens. Let's say it is staring, uncomfortable staring, right? That happens anywhere in the world.
Yeah.
It happens even in the Western world, bro.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, that's not unique to Pakistan. You go put on hijab and a walk in some place in the South, they're gonna stare you all day long,
you're right.
right? This is not unique to Pakistan. And so all you simps out there, like, oh, you hope you don't go there, you know, because they're gonna stare you down. Look at you. That's not gonna get you brownie points, bro. She's on Twitter. You're not gonna get her. You're not gonna get her to marry you. Like, stop that stuff. You know what I mean? It's the most retarded thing. A man who doesn't have honor for himself and his people is an idiot to me.
Yeah.
Right? No one respects that.
Anyway, so
Anyways.
what else do we have on board? There was something about
Opening the door.
opening the door for women. Do we want to talk
That
about
was
that still?
hilarious. That the comments
Okay.
at the bottom were hilarious. But I mean, whatever.
Let's see here. I thought we were just kind of shooting around ideas to talk about before the show, and I thought it was kind of a funny thing that these guys shared with me.
Hey, Sim, people think we're actually playing roles here.
No.
I honestly, God, there's not a role. Like, I
There's no
really feel
role.
this way. I really feel this way. I don't play roles. Like, there's certain times me and Sim agree and sometimes we disagree. This is one of the, obviously you can tell our master Sim got very emotional a few minutes
Hey,
ago.
it's Maestro Sim.
Maestro.
I feel like this is
That's for
deja
the music
vu.
stuff, bro. It's like, yeah, don't worry.
Deja vu.
Oh, let's talk about the homeschool. Let's skip the
Yeah.
men holding
What
thing.
thing?
The
Homeschooling?
homeschooling thing.
The homeschooling thing, because this is something I'm getting really passionate about. Ever since
Passionate about it. Know that.
yeah.
wow.
I
But
don't know
was
if
this
you
a
know what-
prank though? Was it?
I learned something
It
new.
was like
Wait,
TikTok memes or
can you
something.
hold on one second? I
Yeah.
learned something new about. I've been
Yeah.
friends with Sim for almost 20-some years. I just realized he's passionate about homeschooling. Can you tell me about this?
Yeah. Recently, one of my kids has taken up homeschooling, and she's no longer part of public school, and I felt like it's better for her spiritually, Islamically,
It's
mentally,
really good
everything.
for some kids. For my kids, I think it was really good.
Yeah.
Like my oldest, it was really good. My middle one, the younger one, the 9-year-old, it wasn't that good for him. So he's in a public school now. But
Why wasn't it good for him?
everybody learns differently, right?
So you're saying the environment wasn't conducive for him to
No,
learn? getting
some
too
people grow
distracted?
more. Yeah, some people grow more when they're
Oh.
around other people and we're absorbing from other people. But my daughter, on the other hand, she does a very, very good
Do you think it has to do
self-learner.
with the age that she was a little more mature?
No, I think so. Sometimes it has to do with sometimes it has to do with the personality of the individual.
Uh-huh.
Like it's just not their environment to study.
Because I'll
at
be
home.
honest, me as a kid, I was rowdy as hell.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, if you took me out of school and put me like in a
Yeah.
condensed lesson for 2 or 3 hours, I might have done much better. But when I saw other kids in school, I wanted to get in trouble.
I know. I remember that.
And I would
have
literally
stories
look
about
around
you.
to what I can break, what I can, you know,
I know.
what I can like
I
punch.
saw it happen in front of me when I was like
You
6,
did?
7 years old. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
IFS drinking fountain porcelain one.
Yeah, I mean, I
remember?
would do all kinds of things. Ask Tim, and I did all kinds of pranks when I was in like. If I see a bunch of people together and little supervision, that's the, like a. What was it? Oh, let me see this.
So here's a tweet.
I thought this was a prank at
For
first.
anyone around the world watching, where the Mamluks is based out of Illinois, which is where Chicago is located. And it says Illinois education standards says grades K through 2 should learn about gender identity, gender stereotypes. Grades 3 to 5 should learn about masturbation, puberty blockers, and trans children. Tweet says literal grooming, and it's encouraging homeschooling for your children. So these are some of the standards that are being pushed to our children in the public school environment. And I feel like I'm not against sex education in general, but I think
who is teaching and how is it being taught?
Yes, exactly. As Muslims,
and what paradigm is it being taught by?
Can we not be politically correct? This is disgusting.
It is.
I mean,
Yeah.
I don't care what religion you are. A kindergarten, a second grader learning. I mean, look, that might get a pass.
Yeah.
But 3 to 5 years old learning about masturbation in
Thank
school.
you, Mort.
Why does your school have a teacher
Third
about
to fifth
jerking
grade,
off?
I think. Third to fifth grade, I think.
Yeah,
it
third to
says.
fifth grade. Probably
Yeah.
grades 3 to 5.
Yeah.
Why do you have to learn about jerking off in school?
Puberty blockers? Why?
Yeah, I mean,
No.
it just feels like something so like. I mean, look, if a child has a question, I'm okay with having facilities available to address those.
Yeah.
Right? Like, it shouldn't be a thing where you mandatorily have to teach this to grades 3 and 5.
Yes.
3 to 5, right? Like, you can say, hey, kids, today we're going to learn about masturbation,
Yeah.
right? This is how you... And not only that, we've seen... In the past, haven't we seen how these have gone horribly wrong in other places like California, where they're like literally women on top of desks, like showing how to twerk, or like they'll bring a transgender guy in with like a
drag queen
but
story
drag
hour.
queen, but with the backside open, and he's reading a book to them about like
Yeah.
weird things.
Yeah,
They're
drag
teaching them
story
how
hour.
to put like condoms on dildos and just do the most absurd things, right? And you think this is the most beneficial use of time in grades 3 to 5, like to teach them about this?
Yeah. So, guys, look, I think the first thing is, my first question is, how serious is this tweet? Is there some nobody tweeting this, or what is this? The second thing is, everything that we're witnessing right now, without going down the morbid path again, but everything that we're experiencing right now, and I know it sounds very cliche and very corny and very, very elementary, but this is exactly the plan of Shaitan on this earth, right? This is exactly what he promised Allah that he was going to do, right? And the dilemma is when society on educational level at such a young age, with such lewdness and such disgustingness, is trying to take control of the children of innocent people at this level, and people have to be okay with it, then we have no idea what Allah has in store for us as just a world. We don't know what's next. We've never experienced it like this at this level.
If you want your children to grow up to be murtadeen, leave them in this environment. This will make them murtadeen.
It's programming. It's so evil.
Yeah,
to
I'm
get
saying,
them when they're young and teach them about. Oy.
Yeah,
But-
I'm saying no, but realistically speaking, like you said, do you think this is the only thing they're going to teach them?
No.
Right? They're not going to teach them about how this religion stuff is not good.
Yeah.
Be secular, be egalitarian.
What is going to happen to a fifth grader if he says, no, this is against my religion? What if he says that?
Yeah.
What do you think is going to happen to him?
Now, do you think that this could escalate to possibly parents, and saying that, hey, my dad says this. Okay, well, you know what? We don't think, Mr. Saeed, that you're fit to be a parent.
Yeah.
So we're just gonna have to take your kids away until you demonstrate that you're ready.
Exactly. If they're okay with teaching our kids this,
Yeah.
why wouldn't they try to take our kids away from us, man? But I think the reality of all this is, guys, this is obviously something that was inevitable, that was going to happen at the end of times. It sucks to say it that way, but that's the reality. The other is that there's, like you said, there's nothing wrong with teaching your children about sexuality. They have to hear it from us. First thing is that we don't expect other people to teach our kids about sexuality. That's lesson number one. But Islam teaches sexuality in the most beautifulest of ways by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Look how beautiful Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in Surah Al-Hujurat. Inna khalaqnakum min dhakarin wa untha. We created you from male and we created you from female, right? وَجَعَلْنَاكُمْ شُعُوبًا وَقَبَائِلًا. And we made you from tribes and different nations, لِتَعَارَفُوا, so that you know each other. But when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in Surah Al-Insan, right, so beautiful, when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says إِنَّا خَلَقْنَاكُمْ خلقنا الإنسان من نطفة أمشاج نبتليه فجعلناه سميعا بصيرا. It's so beautiful that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala shows us the beginning and shows us the time of birth. The in-between is what Allah left up to us and everything like that, right? So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in Surah Al-Insan that we created a human being from a nutfa, from a drop of sperm, amshajin, and a mixing of that liquid. He's talking about the eggs and fertilization. Nabtalihi, and we test it, right? And there's a whole tafsir about what is referring to what is being tested here. فَجَعَلْنَاهُ سَمِيعًا بَصِيرًا. And then we made this mixing of a liquid a seeing and a hearing being, right? That's miraculous. We don't want to teach kids like all of a sudden just this nasty, I mean, I'm going to say it's raunchy. And it's sexual perversion. Like, why would we want to introduce, number one, kids at kindergarten to second grade? They have no business. Let them be children, dude.
But look in the example you're giving. It also shows you of course, there's enjoyment in this, right? That people will naturally recognize. This is not something you have to teach a person.
Yeah.
They're naturally going to gravitate toward the other gender as they become of age, right?
Yeah.
They're already going to enjoy the pleasure. They desire this.
Yeah.
But it shows you, it hones it and shows you the purpose. Allah is using you, this beautiful thing that you have, He's using you to show you another ayah of His greatness.
SubhanAllah, you're right.
And you want to see the...
Changes the paradigm completely.
You want to see the curriculum, right? Here we go.
Oh, you pulled it up?
Yeah.
My man. Maestro.
All right, here we go. So... Here's the IPS, Illinois Public Schools. This is what their
Can you make it bigger and read it out to him? I can't see it on the screen.
Let me see if I can.
No, I mean, make it tweet. Oh, you can't? Okay. Yeah. No problem. You just read it to me. I can't just read the whole thing. Let me just read it.
It's basically saying what each, up top here is a grade K through 2. It's saying identify different kinds of families, single parent, intergenerational, cohabited, adoption, foster, same gender, interracial. Define gender identity, gender role stereotypes. List medically accurate terms for body parts, including genitalia or genitals. Grade 3 to 5. Explain common human sexual development and the role in hormones, romantic sexual feelings, masturbation, mood swings. Number 2, describe the role hormones play in physical, social, cognitive, and emotional changes during adolescence and the potential role of hormone blockers on young people who identify as transgender. Outline and explain the differences between gender, transgender, gender non-binary, gender, and gender identity. Explain the gender aggression and gender identity exist along a spectrum. Differentiate between sexual orientation and gender identity. So that's grades 3 to 5.
So is that really the image on the right? Does that say masturbation underneath it? What does it say?
Bro, look.
I can't see it.
Look at this picture.
No, I can't see it all the way, bro.
It's a child who's bent over.
Oh my God!
With a mirror.
And doing what?
Checking out their genitalia, bro.
Oh.
No, but what's the other one? The
Standing
second
next
image,
to...
Wait, the second one here underneath it say masturbation? Is that what it says? I can't read it.
Yeah. So that's masturbation right here.
Oh my God! It's openly saying it, bro. What is this crazy stuff, bro?
So this is the crazy world we're living in, folks. I don't need to keep going, but just use
it
your
seems almost like a
imagination.
Twilight Zone. Like, is someone pranking the CPS? Like, I mean, is this really like? I mean, how is this okay? In what world is this okay?
It's so crazy how the Hadith of Rasulullah comes more like he just gave us what it is and how
this is so much zandaqa and like fawahish and like it's just how can a nation that includes this not expect? How can we expect it not to receive adab? I mean, one thing I was thinking about is how we usually talk about like the world can't really do anything without the permission of America, the world, the West, and just generally these countries that are so powerful. But it's so crazy, all the nations of the past that were so powerful, it's these things that were very sexual in nature that just came from left field that destroyed the nation. Yeah. Because what we see is the power, and Allah tests us to see what strength they actually have. And even though they build up all this might, it's these little tiny things that come from left field that everyone thought was insignificant that destroys, And that, I mean, again, that's not something that I'm hoping for that,
but it's just something that you track throughout history, that we are in awe of certain people, and then something else just comes from left field that was unexpected that just topples it. You know what I'm saying?
You know,
Yeah. So
this reminds me of a story. So there was I was hearing a story about this guy that was back in Saudi Arabia, like in the early 50s, 40s. He was one of the first import bringers of furniture, like royal furniture. Multi-millionaire. Had one of the original cars there from England, and I mean, lived a lavish. Knew the medic would personally come to a store, and all these things. Had multi-million-dollar own homes, travel the world, right? And he ended up coming to a friend's house. This guy that I know, his father, they're friends. And he one day his father wasn't there, and he came to stay with him for a week. And the guy was broke. And the sad story. What happened? He's like, either there's no ghina with zina. So you think, meaning, and I think there's a hadith about this too, that zina takes away the wealth, right? But I'm thinking about, like, imagine if it takes away the wealth of a human being, and you have a nation of people behaving like evil, like committing worse than, like, the worst kinds of zina. What kind of barakah will be taken away from them? What kind of opportunity will be taken away from them?
Yeah. No, and look, and just to be fair, because someone could say, oh, this stuff happens all over the world. Why are you just talking about in the West? No, that's very true. But no one in any part of the world wants to teach these things like a curriculum and wants to teach lewdness to children.
Advance the cause.
Yeah.
Like, embrace it.
Yeah.
So
and
people do it in hiding, and they do it in secrecy. Of course, that's always going to happen.
But the audacity to embolden people and to promote it and to normalize this behavior is something unprecedented.
Yeah.
Right?
Completely unacceptable.
Sheikh, here's the evidence you were asking for.
Thank you, man. I appreciate you, son.
You were wanting something that was actually from the Illinois government, ilga.gov. So basically it says, instead, beginning no later than July 1st, 2023, requires a school district, including a charter school, to provide comprehensive personal health and safety education in kindergartens through 5th grade, and comprehensive sexual health education in the 6th through 12th grades in public schools. Set forth as criteria that all classes teach comprehensive personal health, safety, and comprehensive sexual health education must satisfy.
So if that's in like elementary, what do they plan on doing in middle school and high school, bro?
Yeah. Also, is there any opportunity now to push back on this as parents or as people? Is there a regress method right now? Is there any petitions going on to push back on the agenda, or is it just this is it? Like it's coming in?
So I think there is more clarification on the amendments in here. It's not. I think that was a little bit black and white. That that account. It's saying that there are. Requires age and developmental appropriate consent education to be provided.
Yeah. That's just in the beginning. Eventually, that's not something on paper, but how often do people follow that?
Yeah. So there's definitely the writing's on the wall, folks. We're headed towards our children being completely products of the woke mafia. You know, this is what they want. This is how they feel like their worldview needs to be forced on your children. This is how they feel like that's the only way to have some kind of equality in the world. So I highly encourage you all to explore homeschool opportunities that are available for your children. There's very cheap ones available online. I think we pay like around $30 to $50 a month. Yeah. So it's not in the hundreds of dollars, folks. You just have your kid self-study. If you can get them to open up their laptop in the morning, and they can do it at their own pace. For me, I'm like, why should a kid have this rule that they need to wake up super early, pray Fajr or whatever, and go back to sleep? But you know what? Get to school when you're ready to mentally to learn. And if that happens to be 10:30 a.m., if that happens to be 12 p.m., that's fine. As long as you're doing well, you're pacing yourself according to your attention.
I'm not gonna lie. I don't pay attention until like after lunch.
Yeah. Oh, that's when I fall asleep, man. That's when the sugar hits me after lunch.
what I'm saying, I mean, I was literally just waking up. I mean, I would, because I had like, you know, I would be sleeping in half the classes.
Yeah.
In the morning. I'm too tired, bro.
No, and that's what I was telling my child too, man. My oldest, I was telling her that, man, you're so lucky because you can actually study whenever. It's up to you just to finish before, like, if you want to go into the summer, because there's no such thing as summer break. If she doesn't want to, she'll like take a week off as long as she gets the work done. But I was surprised on how much information she's learning, though, because some people are for it. So what she's going through, I mean, just a shout out because I really love this this platform is called Al Bayan Academy. You know, they haven't Al Bayan. They haven't asked me to do Academy, yeah, okay. Online, yeah. Really, really good.
It's in Chicago?
To interface. No, I think they're based out of New York or Maryland.
Man, they took our idea, bro. Remember we were going to online school, bro?
Yeah, we'll talk about that, inshallah. But what I'm saying is...
Took our idea, bro.
No, but what I'm saying is...
bro. You cost us money, Shaykh.
No, I'm glad you said this.
Yeah.
That I personally have of this idea, too. That's why I love homeschooling. As long as they get it done. Because that's what the world is.
Right.
Yeah, and to be fair... Well, I'm sorry, one second.
Yeah.
Realistically, in Chicago, I don't know about other places, but there's no child left behind. What that means is that you can just put some idiot in there and let him keep, and they'll push him to the next grade.
Yeah.
Right? He doesn't have to do nothing, right? So it's actually not really, it's not really a quality education, right? It's just a way to, really, to be honest, to be fair, ever since they pushed this No Child Left Behind, the real reason is not because of the children. Is that because school has become a glorified babysitter.
Yeah.
Parents get to have more time to go. They want their parents to go out to work so they can have more taxable income.
Exactly.
And more, I mean, and so in
the
order to do
are
that,
based off of the parents'
they can't,
work.
yeah, they can't facilitate child health care, right? I mean, or child care for these women and families. It'd be far too expensive. What do? Throw them in this public school system, and they don't learn nothing. They just sit there, they play games, they have study hall, they just sleep, they don't pass nothing. They don't do nothing all day long. They learn about gender identity instead of mathematics and science. They learn about these stupid things being gender neutral and hormone blockers and gee, how can I stop being a man today? Right? Instead of how can I change the world? How can I change myself today? I mean, it's just retarded, bro.
Yeah, no. I'm telling you,
can we say retarded anymore? Is that wrong?
No, you can't.
I don't think you can't say that shit.
It's alright. You retarded like 5 times.
So,
it's okay.
No, I'm
What if we get canceled because
No,
of
I'm
more?
saying for the algorithm, bro. I don't care if people cancel me.
Yeah.
They picked up an algorithm. You can't say the R word anymore.
Yeah, you can't say it, man.
Yeah, I didn't realize that. I just didn't even. It's so normal for us.
You should know that.
I actually look for my own channel. I don't care. I say whatever. I don't care if the algorithm don't pick it up. But I'm saying for this blessed noble channel with the blessed Shaykh in front of us and the Holy Sayyid, I don't want to ruin the opportunity.
Listen, the Holy Sayyid will provide his reference for people who are interested in homeschooling. By the way, you know,
my brother's kid, all of them homeschooled.
Yeah, smart.
Until high school.
Yeah.
Like now they're in high school, but they didn't want them. And it allowed them to honestly to do hifz, I mean, in that time period.
That's pretty dope.
Yeah.
That's super dope. MashaAllah.
So this is the one that we use, me and Megan. Power Homeschool Services. 2 of our kids are enrolled in this one.
Nice.
It's called powerhomeschool.org. They're kind of Christian, but
That's good.
I don't mind.
Hey, that's
fine.
fine.
I don't mind it.
I mean, at least
They're not teaching your kid to worship Jesus.
Yeah.
They're traditional people.
They have
right?
traditional
you
values.
can select the courses, right? You can probably review the curriculum.
Exactly.
And you can choose what classes you want them to attend.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Right?
So
so this is
check them out. Powerhomeschool.org. I
Yeah.
think we pay $25 per child per month, and
That's pretty awesome.
You just get them. You have them do the homework on their own. It gets graded automatically, sent back to you. You get progress reports and all kinds of report cards that are automatically sent to you, or you can check it at whenever you want as a parent. I think it works amazing.
That's awesome.
If you have any kind of a child that has some kind of self-direction that they can do this, maybe you stay at home and you can be on them, then you could do that. You could choose to do that.
Yeah.
But here's a start for you. It helped my family. I want to make sure that you guys know about this. We're not paid by them, not a sponsor or anything, but I just it worked for me, and I figured I'd teach you guys what I know, and
that's beautiful. Thank you.
That you guys know what you can do to achieve your own success with your own children. So hopefully you can be protected by the woke mafia in the world.
Yeah.
The woke mafia being the people who want to teach your children how to be you know, sexually aware of everything that is possible within.
This is just another way to roll with another punch that's coming your way. That's all it is. It's really good.
Jazakallahu khairan ya sayyidi.
Yeah.
You know, I never make a big deal about being a Sayyid, but you do.
I love it though. I think I'm honored.
Yeah, I'm glad that we have someone on our squad.
I'm honored.
You know, when I was, you know, it's a true story. When I was young, when I was 10 years old, I was visiting India. My dad took me to India, and during on this trip, we went to this old village where his family had originated from. And it was like it's straight out of a movie, man. There was like a man sitting in a hut, this mud hut. It was like a mud hut, man. And my dad took us to him, and he opened up with this scroll, huge, thick scroll, where he kept the records of everyone in this family. And he said, "You know what, beta? You know, one day people will say you're not a real Sayyid. That many Sayyids exist, but here is our whole family.
How come you never told us about this? Why are you telling us about this like 20 years later?
Here's your family,
fair,
and here's the most well-known Sayyid that had ever lived in Hyderabad. This is why you're related to him." And that's why I never make a big deal about being a Sayyid, but
to
be fair though, wait, hold on.
Yeah, do you know where it's a village outside of Hyderabad called Kohir? I don't know if you ever heard of it, but
to be fair, I said Sayyidi, not to be like Sayyid, but it's just like meaning like internal endearment.
Oh,
yeah, bro.
But you normally when I'm not on the show, but you give me a hard time about being a Sayyid.
No, hold on. We would give you a hard time if you wouldn't say I was from the. You're the one who started from the deserts of Medina.
I was there.
And when I went to Umrah, if you never said that, this would have never happened.
You've been a mocking yourself.
But I was from the desert of Medina.
No, hold on. When you came back from Umrah after Ramadan,
I was born in Ramadan. Okay. Here's the facts about me. Nobi.
Okay.
I was born in Ramadan.
That's
okay.
Beautiful.
Hold on. Can we
raised
mention
in
the
Medina.
context
Okay.
of this?
Until I was 5 years old.
Can we mention?
Let's mention the context first, and I'll tell you why this.
We have to mention the context of this. Hold on.
He
thought he could be the Mahdi, maybe.
No, well, so he was joking about that. That was in Bolingbrook days, bro. But hold on, check this out.
I'm just kidding. You never thought.
I just remember one day you came back from Umrah and you said, "Man, I'm upset." I was like, "Why?" He's like, "I went back to my people of Medina and they didn't welcome me like I expected them to." I was like, "What?"
Yeah,
like,
the prodigal son has returned.
Okay, dude, but when you say stuff like that, then obviously we're gonna joke around about it, okay?
I understand that, but I just want to set.
But you tell the truth. I want
to set the record clear.
No, it's beautiful, man. MashaAllah. Yeah. Every time we say Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala ali Muhammad, we're sending blessings on you too and your family, man. It's beautiful.
Ramadan birthday is about to come. Ramadan 12th. You can send
Ramadan 12.
You can send in your birthday
presents to me. Are you asking for a birthday gift?
Yeah. Islamic birthday.
Hala bil khums. What are you asking for? Khums, you know what? 1/5.
Khums? He said khums. But guys, yo, it's like it's 9:30.
So realistically, khums is like 1/5 that was supposed to be given to Ahl Bayt. And these Mu'ammam in Iran, these Sayyid who wear the black turbans, they all collect khums.
Where's my black turban? I got black hat.
You gotta make a website for it. Sayyid al-Mudarrisi, and here in America, he collected khums, and they have an official department of collecting khums.
Oh, I need this department.
And you've just been collecting khums.
The Mad Mamluks.khums.
But you might have to compete with some others in the area.
/khums.
Wait.
All right, folks, we got to wrap this up already. Help us out on patreon.com/the Mad Mamluks. Also, please make sure to like and subscribe and give us your thoughts about homeschooling and nationalist Turks making fun of Desis on Twitter. What else did we talk about?
We talked about homeschooling, talked about the
curriculums.
Crazy woke women who want to pull children away from the masjid community.
Yeah.
So tell us what you think. Let me know. And by the way, don't come at me with this stupid thing about the Ertugrul hats and stuff. I don't care about that. Listen, you catch some feelings, you catch your feelings. I don't care. Me and Sim just talk about it. We're done with it. We're not gonna talk about it ever again. But for you guys, don't get your panties in the bunch. Okay, like just relax.
Wear whatever you want.
Yeah, do whatever you want to do. But don't
hurt anyone.
I'll just let you know I don't really care either way. I'm just saying for me it was just a little bit too much.
All right, guys.
That's all it was. That's all it really was.
We'll see you on Saturday. Make sure you help show up and support sister.
Smash that like button.
The sister who's coming on from India, 9 a.m.
Sister
Saturday.
Afreen Fatima, yes.
Afreen Fatima from the student activists in India.
And can you guys donate some money too?
Yeah.
Like, it's about time, honestly. I haven't checked it, but have they donated any money?
No, they haven't donated.
You guys
Guys,
need to start. I'll be honest. Same as tonight. I'll stop making videos. Goddammit.
Patreon supporters are helping out though.
Yeah, it's fine. Great. I love you guys.
I
But I'm
love
saying,
our Patreon
the rest of
people.
you guys need to come up and do something, bro. Because listen, this is time consuming.
Yeah.
And it's hard to argue with Sim. I'm arguing with the Sayyid guy. I'm putting my salvation on the line here. You guys owe me some money.
Get out of here. All right, guys. We'll
And
see.
in front of this Shaykh holiness, I have to do this.
no, it's all good.
God.
Ain't no holiness.
All right,
here,
fellas. We'll see you next
They're asking
time.
for the link. Please put the link in the description.
Which link?
For the donations.
Oh, I thought for the Power Homeschool.
Maybe both. I don't know. Just have to put a link.
bro. Yeah, next week.
I'm so confused. Let's just wrap it up. This is a good time to close it up.
Hang on. Oh, you got me.
I mean, guys, look at this. We need new headphones. Okay, guys?
Yeah.
You see this? We're not lying to you guys. I can't even wear headphones anymore because I'm afraid these black pieces will get lodged into my ear canal. Okay, guys? We need your donations.
Guys, stop it. All right. We'll see you all next time. Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum.